Let's get into some of the results. I know the results, even though I didn't watch most of the matches. I was checking up on Instagram what was going on. So let me pull that up real fast. Man, let me know your guys' thoughts. I'm gonna put a little poll in the chat. Did you guys enjoy UFC BJJ? Yes or no? That's all. That's all we got on here. It was okay. It was okay. Some of the matches, I was like, why they got this match? Why they got this person, this purple belt, this blue belt out there like that? So we're just gonna look at the results. You had Carrasco versus Coslow. Black belt versus a purple belt. Black belt took the win. Carrasco. It was a nice match. He put that triangle on quick. He knew he had that win too. He knew he was gonna win that match. So that went well. You had Mir versus Joya. Joya had the legs for it. She could have finished that match. She had a outside heel hook. I believe it was an outside heel hook. She had a calf slicer to possible back take. She got Darce though, I believe, by Frank Mir's daughter. I don't know why they were out there fighting. I guess Mira, what's her name? Bella? Mira. That would have been a cool name too. I think she fights MMA. She does jiu-jitsu. She does wrestling. So she got her hands full. So Joya, they had a lot of people that never did nogi on this show, and I think that's one of my biggest issues. The main dude didn't do no nogi. The other dudes didn't do no nogi. I don't know what was going on. They didn't have no nogi people on there. I mean, Tacken and Varela, they nogi. Henrique Morera, they do nogi. Mikey does nogi. Gabriel, he never. That was his first nogi match. But we'll get to that too. You had Pimento versus Machado. That was a good match until the end part. Seems like people get stuck on that bowl, so I think the design is terrible. Once you hit that bowl, that's it, bro. You don't slide off that bowl. You stuck once you get on that bowl. So, if you guys do UFC BJJ, watch out for that bowl. That side of that bowl, that's going to get you. That was a good match, though. I think Machado is more of a gi player. He did okay. Then you had Mora versus Alencar. Alencar was doing okay, but then Mora, that was her first no-gi match. So she had no no-gi experience from what I saw. She just went out there and did what she does. She did well. Again, why are we watching people that never did no-gi before? That was a good match, actually. It was okay. They were slapping. Some hard collar ties were going on. Yeah, Kikorian versus Asantis. I don't really know Asanitis. I don't really know of him. I stopped watching after the Alencar match. Had to go do some editing, and it was getting late. 9:00 on a Wednesday night. I was like, shoot, bro. I'm like, I got stuff to do. I'm trying to decompress. Kikorian, I think he did. I'm sure Kikorian took that. I mean, Kikorian was the other guy on the show. Either way, Kikorian's got more experience than everybody on that show. Basically, I think he's got more experience, no-gi experience than everybody. He was kind of like one of the guys that was supposed to take the whole thing. Then you had Henrique Carlos versus Morera. What's up, Jason? I didn't see that match either. Carlos won. I knew he was really good. He's fought my friend before. My friend Jeff had a good match. The way he did Isaac, I mean, Isaac, a world champion. You guys don't understand how good a world champion is. Well, that shows you if that dude can beat a world champion, he can beat most people. So that was a good match. I hope on paper it should have been a good match. Jason says, UFC BJJ wild. MMA fighters trying to communicate a technical BJJ match was interesting. Yeah, that also made me not want to watch, having to listen to, I know, was it Dean Thomas? I've heard he's talked a lot of crap about jiu-jitsu over the years. And to have him commentating, and, people that didn't really understand nothing, they don't know what's going on. The audience don't know what's going on. UFC couldn't have hired like Ryan Hall or Gilbert Burns or Damian Maya to explain things. That just kind of shows you, and the interview girl, she didn't know no jiu-jitsu. So maybe they'll fix things. I think they got 3 more events slated for this year, but nobody knew anything. They didn't have no jiu-jitsu. They had all the jiu-jitsu people watching the event, but they didn't have nobody commentating, explaining stuff. No color commentators or nothing. No technical commentators. And that belt, let me tell you, that belt, that Walmart belt. Shout out to my boy Christian. He came up with that. That Walmart belt. I'm gonna go pick that up after this stream. I'm gonna go get that for $29.99 at Walmart. So yeah, they kept getting positions, and how to defend or attack positions was hilarious. Yeah, they didn't know what they were talking about. They're like, they need to stand up and wrestle. You knowing full well you down. You can't even wrestle in that bowl. You hit that side of that bowl, you're gonna take your ankle out, and you're gonna get your head crushed into the side. You can't wrestle in that bowl. Apparently, wrestling doesn't work in a bowl. You can't wrestle. I don't want to hear no self-defense talk about how wrestling is effective. You can't wrestle nobody down in most areas. You're gonna throw yourself. You're gonna throw somebody. You're gonna throw your head onto some hard material. Throw your back out. I don't want to hear you're gonna trip yourself trying to wrestle. I don't want to hear how wrestling is self-defense. Good for self-defense no more. You guys know when I start the video with UFC BJJ, you know I'm gonna rant today. Yeah, man. So yeah, I didn't see that match. I saw the results. Carlos won. This match, Tackett won. Tackett been on a good run, man. He's been on a good run. I will say he's been fighting. He hasn't been fighting the guys we want to see him fight. He's not fighting Cade. He's not fighting Ty. He's not fighting Mika. He's not fighting those guys. Tynan. He might have fought him a while ago, but I want to see the matches again. Varela's good, but he like me. We old. He out there fighting 20-year-olds at 30, 32, 33. But shout out to Varela. He out there. The issue with Varela is the issue that most older grapplers going to have, especially in grappling. Most athletes, your physicality ain't going to be the same as it was when you were 25. So you have to focus on your technique, guys. You have to. That's something that I started to do when I hit 25, I believe. Was I 25? 26, 27. I was like, man, I better start developing some good technique. Now my technique, I'm a brag. My technique's not too bad, but if you just rely on your intuition, your physicality, hey, listen, you hit 29, 30, that starts to go away a little bit. 33, all right, not quite the same. And then we had Musumeci versus Gabriel. Gabriel did pretty well. I mean, he can't defend his legs, but that was his first no-gi tournament, first no-gi match. And he just started no-gi last week, so he did actually really well. He did better than Gabriel Souza. But the whole time I was thinking, if you can weather Mikey's storm, what else does Mikey have? He's not going to take unless he does a bolo, he's not going to take your back. You don't want to be on top. So I'm wondering. I'm not saying I saw a hole in Mikey's game, but I'm like, if you know how to defend leg locks, what else has Mikey got in nogi? You know how to if you can defend the bolo and you can defend his leg locks, what does Mikey have? I'm wondering. I'm thinking that some of these kids coming up, they're gonna be able to give Mikey. Gabriel gave Mikey one of the hardest matches we've seen, and he was just defending. So I'm wondering, how Pato, how Baby Shark, bro, Baby Shark might get through that guard, bro. Baby Shark can survive Pato, and Pato's stronger than Mikey. I want to see these matchups, man. I want to see these matchups, Mikey. Stop ducking these dudes and get these matches on the way. I don't care if they're using supplements. You go fight those guys, Mikey.